Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on a whole head made of green. No, what should I do here? Let's use white because we're using white thread. It'll look a little bit better when we trim it. Get a good size clump, really good, because it's got to cover the whole, all the way around the shank of the hook. Now this is going to be like a true spin. This isn't going to be just clump after clump after clump. You may have to pinch your thread and then do kind of a half hitch like motion. So okay, see it? Oh, it slid off the high of the hook. Pull it back on. And then spin. Make sure it goes all the way around. Then grab it, push it back tight. If you have a whip finish tool to go over this thing, it might help out a lot. Instead, I'm just going to use this half hitch, or this big pin as my half hitch. Push tight back. And that'll hold them back. I always do that. Come back in, pull them all back. Put my thread in tight. Okay, and as soon as you got it where you've actually made a good head on that thing and you got all those fibers pulled back, come in here with your whip finish. Pull everything back. Call it some more fibers. And don't worry about double knotting that thing. I'm going to put some hard as hull on here. Okay. Now this thing's pretty much done. Now all I gotta do is trim it, which is the fun part. I'm going to clean up real quick and then we'll get to that. Okay. So to trim this thing, I'm going to trim it up. So what you want to do is make sure you watch your tail. Usually I do is I take my hand, wrap around the tail, kind of hold it in my palm, real light and gentle, and then pinch the end of the hook barely. Oh, Cole, get down. Cole, get down. Try to make a movie here, Cole. Hop down. Okay. Now these right here are double-edged razor blades. The same kind of thing that you would use if you were using the old-fashioned safety razors. You can get them at Walgreens by the razor blades, that you would shave with, like, you know, Schwick and stuff like that. So, or Gillette. So here's our fly. It's been made. It's been trimmed. I've already whip finished it. You know, all we gotta do is trim it. So these things right here are pretty flexible. So take it and bend it. It's not sharp on the sides, only on the edge sides. Like on this right here, it's flexible. And heat on the bottom, on the sides right here, like that and that. But the sides can bend and you won't get cut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of make the angle that I want to cut it at. Well, first I'm gonna make a kind of a rough cut. It may take a little spin, and then once you get it, it should kind of fall back in place. And then you kind of need to blow your hands off every now and again. So once you get the rough shape of it, or to the bottom. Now the bottom, you kind of need to make a real shallow cut, or a real deep cut, I guess you could say, closer to the hook shank. If you don't, the hook won't be exposed enough to really hook the fish when they bite it. Let me clean the fly off real quick. Do your best to get it symmetrical, but you know, I mean, you're gonna fish it, so don't kill yourself over it. It's gonna get tooth marks on it. You know, it's gonna get chewed up in those grinders that redfish call teeth. Okay, just kind of do your thing all the way around. Now I like to make a good hump on top of the head. That way it really dives down. When it does dive down, when you got it and you're going through the water, and it's pumping, it's going up and down, and porpoising, as some people would call it. That way it throws up a bunch of water, makes a good spot. Let me get my hand quick. Okay, hold on, I gotta. I got deer hair trimmings in my beard. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is grab your scissors, not those dull things, but your sharp scissors. And you see this little collar on the back right here? I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. See that little collar, little mohawk looking thing that's against the back of the fly? I'm gonna try to round that off. I don't wanna cut those long fibers that we had the back where we left the butt ends on. Just that little wall at the back. And it's pretty easy to get. Just take your scissors and kind of brush back until you get to those long fibers with the butt ends on them. Now, by leaving these butt ends sticking up a little bit, that's going to give us a wall. That's just going to reflect more water upwards when you're working the fly. That's just going to work those. That's just going to push more water up so that it gives it a better splash. The reason I keep going back to the vacuum is because it's hard to see the fly when you get all that waste on top of it. When you trim it, you get all those little small pieces of hair. I told you, trimming these things is probably the hardest part for me. I hate it. I don't hate it. I'm just not that good at it yet. But I know some guys who can just trim these things in no time and they look beautiful. Okay, good enough. I got a better idea. We're gonna use these ice eyes. These little things. That look really good on there. Okay, here's how I do it. I'm gonna turn the fly on its side so y'all can get a better look at this stuff. Put the eye where you want it. Looks good to me. We can break it down. Nah, it's good right there. Okay, then get you some thin Clear Cure. Thin Clear Cure goo. Now this is a UV resin system, so it stays soft as long for a very long time. It'll even stay soft in sunlight for a little while, but as soon as you put some hardcore tan in bed style UV light on it, it's gonna harden up like a rock. Now put a good generous amount on there and kind of spread it around the edges just a little bit, and this is gonna kind of seep into that deer hair. You can't put it up underneath the fly, up underneath the eye, because if you put it up underneath the eye, what's gonna happen is, and put a little bit on the knot too, because it'll make it a little bit stronger. You can't put it up underneath the eye, because if you put it up underneath the eye, the light will never get to it, so it won't harden up. Turn the light out for this. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but once you do that and you put the light to it, by the way, things look awesome in black light. Okay, put the light to it, it kind of smokes it up a little bit, just a tad bit. It's not burning the hair, that's just the UV chemical reacting to the light. Hold it on there for a good 90 seconds, and then yeah, it's close enough. And you'll notice it's hard as a rock. I want to make it kind of look a little bit more glossy though. That when this stuff hardens up, it hardens up like a soft rubbery feeling. You know, just like a kind of like epoxy does. So it's looking a little bit goofy, but it works out good. You won't always have the right eyes for every fly. You know, sometimes you just kind of use what you got. An eye is an eye. Oh, slipping off a little bit there. Push you back up. Try not to make those fly look cross-eyed. Okay. This stuff has a pungent odor. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've actually smelled adhesives that smell a lot worse than this. But when you get when you're trying to get close up on a fly, you know, and you got your head all up in it, trying to see what you're doing, it can get pretty bad. Turn the light out real quick. Look at the underbelly. That's just cool. This thing looks awesome. Good. Last task. Let's get you some nail polish or some hard as whole or some head cement that doesn't clear up, that doesn't cure up to be all sticky. So any head cement that hardens up really glossy will work. This is Griffin's, and just rub that around the eye, right on top of it. And as soon as that hardens up, it'll leave that eye looking glossy like it should, and not jelly, you know, jelly, rubbery looking like the Clear Cure leaves it. But that's it. That is a redfish. That's a bass bug that's been modified to catch redfish. Not much to it than that.